Okay, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. Nada's not here, so Helen and I will be conducting the session tonight. It's with regards to the session we had on Saturday. So we'll go over that session and sort of fine tune it. We'll go over some of the material as well. And if there are any new people around, then we need to go over the beginning as well. Okay, so I have, my name is Joan Poon. Yeah, I'm a Sapphire director with Neolife 26 years. And so we're going to do that training. I have a PowerPoint that I'll share with you first. Okay, so it's about our story. Why do we tell our story, right? And I have this written down. What's the point of your story? This is something that's really great, even in regular conversation, you know. It says, don't make a point without telling a story. And don't tell a story without making a point. And one of the things too is when you're telling a story, tell in pictures so someone can see the picture of what you're saying, because they remember pictures better than words. So start and end your talk powerfully. We're used to telling our story, but we've added the beginning and the end. We're trying to improve on that to make it a little more effective. So your beginning is critical. It's your opportunity to capture their attention. This is where you prove you have something relevant and important to convey. So your ending matters because it determines the impression that you will leave your listeners. Okay, so we're working on our beginning and our end. And I have Heather here to help me. She's great with her endings and her call to action. Okay, so another one is, okay. So your story, you want to inspire your audience. You want to say something they can relate to. Like for instance, depending on the topic, you can relate to people who have low energy, poor immune system, you know, that sort of thing. Tell your story. And these are the parts where you were in life when you were introduced to Neolife. So it could be a problem, it could be a health problem, or it could be a financial problem. And what did you see? The solution, right? And then what happened for you? The great results. You had more energy, you had your immune system was improved, or the business story would be like I'm making an extra $1,000 a month, or I'm able to do charity work, whatever it is. It's your story. And where are you going with this, right? So hope for the future. How do you see your future, health-wise and business-wise as well? And then you call to action. You pose a thought-provoking question or statement, and we'll share ours as well, so you can see what we have. And it's evolving. I keep changing it because it resonates at first, and then you think, oh, I have a better idea. So it's ever evolving. All right. So those are the ideas. Let me. Hello, Wen. Wen's on now. And
yes, sorry, I was late.
Pauline. Okay. So Heather, do you have anything to add to that? I know we're going to ask them to tell their stories, and we'll give some feedback as well. So you have some great ideas.
I think what we're trying to do, I'm just going to reiterate something that you said just before we started the session. And that was, when you're starting to build your story and get it down on paper, put down all your key points, whatever you think you want to tell people and share with people that would describe you and your journey, at a certain point or a certain part of your life, just put it all down and then start taking parts out. And how do you know what to take out? Well, take out everything that doesn't relate specifically to the focus of your story. The more focused you can be in a story with the clarity, and what I like to use the word succinct, right? It doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. I don't like to call it fluff, but it's extraneous stuff. It may all be true. It may all be really important to you, but is it important to your audience? So we want to kind of whittle it right down until we get the core of it, you know, and it's more powerful when it's clear, succinct, and simpler in terms of how much information you're putting in there. Okay, you start to ramble and people get lost. Say, I'm lost. Like, I don't know what she's telling me all this for. Okay, so put yourself in the seat of where your audience is, right? So that's what I would say.
Point, right? You don't want them asking, well, so what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point
of your story, right?
Right. Yeah. So hopefully, as we share some of our stories tonight, it will be very clear to the rest of us, the audience, that's the point of her story. That's the really important part. That's the key part of her life that she wants to share with us, right? So
one other point too is the beginning should spread through to the end, right? The beginning, you start that. So what? It's sort of like a message you want to give people as well, and you close with that message at the end, if possible, right? So yeah, so we'll share. And another thing we spoke about, and I spoke to Nada about it today too. So we talked about I've changed my story because Heather had pointed out, and which is great, that I had so many points in my story. I had early retirement, I had a platform, and all those things. And those are all business. And we've had feedback from people as well saying that, you know, I came to a health talk and then they're talking about business, right? So tell them whatever you're inviting them to, give them that information. So I've cut out the business part of my story. And what we're thinking of doing is after our health talk, 10 minutes, we'll do 10 minutes of business, invite them to come to a business session after the health talk. And that's where I'll bring in my business story, because you're inviting them to a business talk, right? So they won't be like, why are you telling me about business? They'll be more receptive because they're going to stay back and listen, right? Does that make sense? So I spoke to Nada and Mary. We'll be able to coordinate that because we'll have to come up with a business presentation for about 10 minutes, right? So, yeah. Okay, so who wants to, do you want to go first, Heather?
Yes, I will. I think I will. And this is a story that I took, that I shared in the Ideal Business for Teachers, which I really worked on that because it was from a slant. People were looking at it and why would it be an interesting or an ideal business for teachers? So I had more in it in terms of being the teacher, what it was like, and as a teacher, what were the benefits? So I took that as a start and I took out a whole bunch of stuff. And so this is what it is. And it's still not perfect. As Joan says, it does evolve, it changes. And I think, oh, I don't need that. I don't need that. It's better to take things out. So here we go. And it should be no more than 2 minutes, less if possible. Okay, so here's my story. My name is Heather LaCroix, and I'm a retired school teacher. My husband has his own engineering company. We have 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren. Back in 1998, I had been teaching for 14 years. I found it very stressful and I was very tired. I had no energy for anything in the evenings, no recreation or social time with friends. I was disenchanted with my job and I wanted to retire, but I was holding on because of the pension. If I taught for another 14 years, I'd be able to retire with a full pension, but I knew that wouldn't give me the freedom and flexibility I really wanted. I was looking for something that I could start that would supplement my pension in retirement. Our 2 daughters were in high school and were looking at post-secondary education. So in reality, we needed additional income for our monthly expenses. Physically and mentally, I wasn't sure I could take another 14 years of school, teaching school. And then I met Lynn Mittenoff. She was a former registered nurse and she was a parent volunteer in my school library. Lynn saw firsthand how I suffered with stress, fatigue, and migraines, and asked me if I'd be open to hearing about some products that she thought would help me. So of course I said, sure. I told Lynn then that I didn't have the time or the energy to do the business. But after a few weeks on the breakfast pack, I had more energy and felt better than I had in years. It was like having more hours in my day. I couldn't help but share how I was feeling with my friends and colleagues because the products work, they're a good foundation for a solid business. I was able to retire 3 years early, knowing that I had an alternate income source with unlimited potential. I'm still an educator, providing information, skills, and resources to help people on their wellness and financial journey. I have lots of energy to play with my grandchildren, enjoy sports like golf and curling, snowshoeing, Nordic pole walking, and I'm truly grateful to Lynn for sharing the Neo-Life opportunity with me 23 years ago. And now I'm sharing it to give families hope to live healthier and happier lives. So I didn't time that this time. I think it was under 2 minutes when I did it before. Joan, would you unmute if you have some feedback? And I would appreciate comments from anyone else. If there's something you said, well, why did you say that? You know, what, that doesn't really belong there. So please, comments are welcome.
I guess in the talk you could see, you know, you see pictures, right? You could see you stressed out, and you know, and just by describing all of that, and you know, it's really important in your story. Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of us are stressed out. People can relate to that, right? Yeah, and
And although I call it my business story, I do talk about the stress and fatigue because that's what was making it so hard for me to keep teaching. I did want out, but there's a financial aspect of having a job and security with a pension. So they do go hand in hand. And for most of us, they do go hand in hand.
I think with a business story, we always have a product story as well, but a shortened product story. And when we have a product story, we have a shortened business, like a sentence to say that, you know, it evolved into a business, right? So it all depends on which one. But that's awesome. I mean, Heather, Heather, I have to listen to it again. Yeah, that's great. Anybody has any comments? So,
Was it on?
hi, Pauline, are you?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question, Heather.
Yes.
So it's off because we're going to get together, but my picture is not there. So we had to go to the album. So excuse the no picture, but it will come back on shortly. You introduced that was a business story, and you mentioned your name. Now, if I had met Joan as a prospective member and she knows me, I don't have to mention my name. Is that correct?
No, that's right. This would be a story if I was doing a Zoom presentation to maybe a few people that I had introduced or invited to the call, but maybe I have a colleague who has also invited a couple of guests. So if you're, you know, just invited to share your story and you know there are other people that you don't know to a general audience, then yes, you would say who you are. And usually the reason I say, and we've been actually trained way back when we were trained to, okay, so I'm a teacher. Anybody who knows teachers or is a teacher, there's a point of relating. I have an engineer husband. There's another point of relating. We're parents and grandparents. That's another point of relating. Okay, so you do that very quickly. Even at convention, Josh is always telling us, you know, when you meet somebody or you're listening to one of the speakers on stage, listen for who are they? What was their career or what is their career, right? So that you can then invite somebody, you know, say, you know what, I met somebody who was at convention and they're a pharmacist or they're a farmer or they're a music teacher, you know, any point that you can relate to people that you know. So that's what we're looking for there, just very quickly. That's why I said my name.
That's good. Thank you. I thought so. I want to make sure.
Okay.
Well, it's always different, either if you're doing a health talk or one-on-one, or when you meet someone, outside, we won't be saying all those things. It's an interchange of information. You ask
Right.
them support, asking questions and telling them stuff, right? So different, right? So here's my revised my revised testimonial. I shortened it. We had mentioned, Violet, that you weren't here, that the product store, because people are coming to health talks, they're expecting more health. And some people had commented that, yeah, they didn't like to hear business because you came to a health talk, right? So,
Right.
what we're planning on doing, and Nat is just listening, is that after our health talk, maybe invite them for the last 10 minutes to do a business presentation for them. So at least if they stay back, they're interested, right?
Okay, I see.
So
So you separate them.
Yeah. Well, because it depends on what you invite them to. If you invite them to a health talk, or if you say health and business opportunity, right?
Mhm.
Both together, then you can intertwine it. But we are just inviting them to a health talk initially, right?
Right.
So that's
I
what
see.
they're expecting. So
Yeah.
here I go. Um, well, my name is Joan Poon. Neolife has helped me to take charge of my health and my life. I was introduced to Neolife 26 years ago. I was working downtown Toronto as a registered nurse, juggling a stressful part-time job and taking care of two young kids who were 4 and 10 at the time. I had just finished treatments for breast cancer and I was suffering. I was so used to my old testimonial. And I was suffering severe fatigue from the effects of chemotherapy. I was looking for something to strengthen my immune system as well as to boost my energy level. And that's when I met Mary Ellen, who introduced me to Neolife. I was drawn to the science behind the products and the fact that the products were made from whole foods. I started using some of the products equivalent to the breakfast pack, and within a few weeks, I felt a huge difference in my energy level. My immune system got stronger, I didn't get sick as often, and if I did, it just lasted a few days. I had severe seasonal allergies in spring and fall, runny nose, itchy throat and eyes, and I was taking a lot of antihistamines. And over the years, with a strong immune system and detoxing my body, my allergies have disappeared. I know a lot of tired people, especially my nursing colleagues. So I started sharing my story with them and my friends and family. And it just evolved into a small part-time business where I was getting small monthly checks. So if anyone is interested in learning more about earning money, getting extra income by sharing these products, we have a 10-minute session right after this health talk where you're invited to attend. So I took charge of my health by saying yes to the Neolife products and community. And I'm happy to say that I'm a 29-year breast cancer thriver. And I feel better today with lots of energy in my 60s than I did in my 30s. So if you know anyone who's suffering from low energy, poor immune health, or just wanting to maintain their good health, please share this talk with them or invite them to attend next Tuesday. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. So I've changed, so just one point, like they're not going through so many different right points, right, Heather? Yeah. Any comments? So you're muted, Heather.
Yes, I was saying it's very much more focused now. It doesn't meander, but there's a thread that goes right through the story to the end, and you pick it up along the way, right? Quick mention of the business because that's what happened for you. Invite them to learn more if that's of interest, right?
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I
Wen
am
has a hand
Dawa.
up.
Hi, it's Dawa.
Oh, Dawa. And then
Hi, I'm not feeling well. I'm still having the pain. Anyway, I'm here I just want to ask you guys, yes, I understand that. So are you guys going to record this one? Then I can learn it by listening over and over?
It's being recorded. Yeah.
It's been recorded? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
And there's one on Saturday as well that you can listen to.
Saturday as well?
Session, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I hope you
Okay.
feel
I'm on the bed and I'm just listening what you guys are doing. I'm still I'm with the cool and hot bag and my back in the thing. So, but it's okay. I'm listening. I want to learn. Yes. So it's recorded, right? So I can get there. Okay. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm listening. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So when were you going to say something, Wen?
Yes, I was. I was going to say, in your defense, Joan, you're usually asked to talk during the business part of the health talk. So you're asked specifically to talk about the business part of your, so it isn't that you're rambling, but I understand why people who came just for the health talk, they might not like us putting in that little bit at the end on the business period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's how you get the products and, you know, what you can do if you really want to earn some money. So whatever.
Yeah.
I liked both yours and Heather's. I did find them both long, but I also see that they're at presentation ones. They're not what you would say, as you've already said, both of you, not what you would say when you were on the street and just encountered someone and wanted to share with them what it is to you, what Neolife is to you, and why you hope that they might be interested and are they open to blah, blah, blah. So yeah, they're great stories, both of them. I love hearing them.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
they're well put together.
And
Yes, and when we're, oh, sorry, Joan.
you go first. You go.
Yes, absolutely right. This is sort of when you're standing up in front of a room and you're asked to share your story of why you're doing this. But the other, if you're just meeting someone, it's more for me, just asking the questions and having a conversation. It's simply asking questions and having a conversation. And if it tends to go towards something around health, then yes, we all know that question, you know, if I sent you something that might be of interest in terms of your health or in terms of that issue, would you watch it? Or, you know, are you open to hearing more about an income opportunity that you could do on the side that if it didn't interfere with what you're doing? So depending on where your conversation is going, you've got a couple of standard questions just to see. And what we say is the people sort themselves. They will tell you, what are they looking for? What are they open to? Okay.
Take them where they want to go, right? Like we talked about going down the grocery aisle. If you want to go down the vegetable aisle, take them there. If they want to go down frozen foods, take them there, right? And that's, you just take their cues because that's what they want, right? So who else? Oh, Heather moved over. Oh. You on the right side and then
Because Mansoura has her hand up. And when you have your hand up, you always go to the left.
really? Okay.
So look for the little hand in the corner.
Okay, Mansoura.
Yeah, I thank you. That's very inspiring. Although on Saturday, like I tried to present something, but I just listening to both of you, I have quickly made another story here, which doesn't include the business part. But because I'll be soon leaving for prayers, can I just
Sure.
say it out?
Let's yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Mansoura Yusuf. Working with individuals with learning challenges, autism, dyslexia, Down syndrome is my passion. I love my profession and it requires tremendous energy, both physical and mental. While age is adding on, I realized that low energy was catching up too. Wow, 4 months back, I met Nada St. Germain, who introduced me to Neolife, whole food nutrition and non-GMO supplements. That itself caught my attention. While I initially discussed my husband's health, who has had a bypass surgery, both of us got started with Pro Vitality and day and night change in both our health, energy, focus, and overall well-being. That's it.
Finished?
Nice. Success.
Yeah, I just wrote this. I know it needs to be expanded, but I just wanted to have a feedback as to where to start amending this.
That is really good. There's a nice focus to it. And, you know, you did mention a couple of health issues, but they're general enough that, you know, you don't want to get into the situation of TMI, too much information. And that was just really nicely balanced. And at the end, that's what we're missing, that kind of like to wrap it up, because we weren't sure if you were finished. It was a very, very nice presentation. So what we want you to look at is how can you make a call to action? And it doesn't have to be like, oh, if you want to help somebody with their health, then, please join me. That's pretty blunt and direct. Depending on the person you're talking to, that might work. But, look at your beginning, right? You love your job, you had low energy, you've experienced a transition, a transformation, an improvement. And so, you might even say, I know there's so many people who are looking for more energy and I'd love to help more people. If you'd like to learn more, please get in touch with me or, come to our next session. So something that helps them to make a decision or a choice to learn more or to get in touch with you if they want that same transformation.
Sure. Yeah, I literally just, as you were speaking, I like the way when you mentioned the critical points, I thought, okay, just talking about working with children with challenges, everybody knows that it's not an easy job. But I'm passionate. I love my work, but I also need to have that energy boost as well. Yeah, I will amend that and have a call of it.
And that's a great point. That's a great jumping off point. A lot of people who are in jobs who they do love the job or their career, but the energy drain is really getting in the way. Could be physical jobs like in the trades. As men and women age, they may not have the same agility and strength to do some of those carpentry or plumbing jobs or whatever it is that they're into, right? So if their career demands more physical energy, they might be interested in something like this in a natural way to help them with their energy demands.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else do the comment or do theirs?
Yeah, I'd love to hear more.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
It's the product story. There were patches of bald spots on my scalp, and my hair looked unhealthy. I said to myself, what's happened to my beautiful hair? It was time for me to correct this. So I contacted my friend Joan. I use whole food products on my hair and scalp, and it worked. I saw a major transformation. My hair looked healthier and glistened. I was also suffering with asthma and using puffers. The medication, the puffers, caused me to have severe headaches. Again, I use whole food products, and 2 months after using them, my breathing improved. My doctor was amazed. Instead of puffers, I use these products. I am delighted using these products. They gave me the results I yearned for. Would you love to learn more about the products? Next Tuesday, we have a health seminar at 7 p.m. I will send the link, and I'm looking forward to seeing you.
So
thank you.
that's great. Yeah, I mean the enthusiasm too, right? That was great.
Your expression was really good. The passion that was really there. It's very authentic. It's very genuine.
Thank you.
How about adding a beginning, right? What do you think at the beginning? What can she add, Heather?
Hi, my name is.
Oh, my name.
You could do that.
I'm Polly Molly. And I love to dance.
Hey, that's great. What is your opening sentence? What was it again?
I just went to there were patches of bald spots on my scalp, and my hair looked unhealthy.
Okay. So what your name is, and then you started to notice that your appearance was changing, that your hair wasn't that beautiful, lustrous hair that you used to have, or something like that. You noticed changes in your appearance that were what's the word I'm looking for? Not uncomfortable, but they were
Undesirable?
Yeah, that's not, they bothered you. Okay, they were really kind of bothering you. But that's not the word I'm looking for. They
Our
they
hair,
didn't upset you.
I'll work on that, Heather. I'll work on that.
our
Yeah,
hair
work on that.
crowning
Work on
glory.
that.
It's our crowning glory. That's what we call our hair, our crowning glory.
There you go. You notice changes in your hair, your crowning glory. That's great.
We'll only use it if you like to use it.
Well, but then people start thinking, is my hair changing? Sure, it changes color, but what's the texture like? Do they have split ends? Is it getting thin? Yeah, dull. Mm. Yeah. Who else would like to share
I'll
a
do
story
it.
or part of a story? Yeah.
Yeah, I can. So my name is Violet Abraham, and I'm a diabetic. And when I started taking some of the products from, Neolife, actually, it changed my life. So if I'm speaking to another diabetic, I could explain my testimony, telling that I was a diabetic, and when I started taking some of the products that Neolife had, made a difference because my blood sugars regulated, and also with neuropathy and glucose balance helped me to even control that, because I do see a difference in my body. I feel it, and I feel better after so many years. So that's would be my testimony, which I will be explaining and telling the other person. Do I have
Yes.
to
Well,
present it, or yeah?
one thing that I have learned is that it's really important to spend a little bit of time on the pain. So people really get, like Joan, you were saying that you really got how stressed and tired I was, and with my teaching. What is it about? You say, well, this is my name and I'm a diabetic. How about saying I have diabetes? I don't know. There's just something about labeling
Sure.
with something like that. This is what you have.
Yeah.
I think it's more the accepted version of saying it.
Sure.
And also, I had noticed that, I had neuropathy. I couldn't feel my toes or my hands, or I had numbness or something like that. Just a little bit for people who don't have diabetes or don't know very much about it. How is that affecting you? Changes in blood sugar, did it affect your mood? Did it, it left you at risk for some other diseases? We know that. You might just say that, right? I've
Sure.
learned that, I'm at higher risk for other diseases. Maybe a lot of
Mhm.
people don't even know that.
Yeah.
And then how did you learn about Neolife? Who introduced you? I met who, where, when?
Mhm. Mhm.
Was it like a couple of years ago?
Actually, this year, and I learned it through Dawa,
Mhm.
because we have been friends for a long time. And that's how I was introduced to Neolife. And I started with Pro Vitality, and then the 3-day detox, and then went on to shakes, which I never liked, but now I'm enjoying the shakes. And then, I started taking everything else. Now I'm on, salmon oil to full motion to glucose balance, and tray.
Get specific though, Violet. So
Okay.
one of the things too is when you first, I think you couldn't read, right? That's pretty powerful.
Yes,
You can
that's
read
another story.
Eyesight.
eyesight.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
that's a good opening too. When I first I couldn't read because I had detached retina, right? Or
Yeah,
that could be
yeah,
one. Like so I know we have a lot of different problems. So we're
yeah,
trying to um, do each one um, depending on the situation too, right?
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, even our health talk, I guess maybe they can ask you to, can you tell them can you share your testimonial on this specific thing?
Blah, blah, yes, yes,
Blah, blah.
okay,
And then
yeah,
you have that ready. So an opening is like, I couldn't even see or whatever. And you can see
yeah,
even Nada had to read for me. So that is dramatic. And you
yeah.
can see that, right? So you want to
Mhm.
have a little bit of, I mean, you don't want to be dramatic, but it is dramatic, right?
It is, yeah,
Yes,
True.
yeah,
your
very,
your
yeah,
eyesight was failing. You want to try to
yeah,
condense it down to the fewest words possible that convey the most emotional impact. Your eyesight was failing. That's a big wake up call, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then when you say you started taking the products, well, if we're doing it the health talk, you're going to say basically it was the breakfast pack or it was the Pro Vitality.
Mhm.
And you were introduced by a friend, a longtime friend. Okay. So you
Yeah.
don't have to get too specific and a lot about each point. You were introduced by a long-term friend. I was introduced by a parent volunteer. So, you know, how the reason we do that is that it helps both people. It helps promoters who are listening saying, oh, you know, I have so-and-so in my life, or
Yeah.
someone who would like to share. Maybe they're volunteering in an organization and some of the other volunteers they're talking with, hey, why not share what you're doing? You know, especially if it's made an impact for you. Don't we
Yeah.
want to share the good news, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you for the
Prepare
input. It
different
helps.
ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, prepare different ones, Violet, right? Like your
yeah,
by Matsura. Yeah. So be ready for different. Yeah, yeah. Good. Great job. We have a lot of work to do. As I say, it's always evolving, you know. And mine is still not finished. You know, I have some more things to put. Oh, when is ready?
No, I'm just, Violet, I'm just wondering about, I mean, I know that we take a lot of products, but I don't know that that's a place to start when you're talking to a new person, because you might overwhelm them. They will grow into it, just as you
yeah,
grew into it, taking all the products for different things. But you don't want them to think like, oh my goodness, how will I have to take that many? Will I need to, how much do these things cost? Will I have to pay that much money? Well, anyway, so
That's right.
I think I'm really getting it that we need to focus on the foundation product.
Yeah.
Getting
That's right.
yeah,
started.
yeah.
We're really talking about the breakfast pack, getting them
Mhm.
started, and that what it did for you. You can tell them your story about not liking the shakes.
Yeah,
I know it came about because you were on the detox program that you started, you had to try the shakes, right? They were
right.
part of the program. But you
Yeah.
can say that, you know, without even revealing you were doing a detox, you can say, I was not a shake person. But when I finally had to try them, I loved them, you know, just something as simple as that.
Right. I
And-
mean, yes.
As they get to know you more, because you're going to be
Yeah.
That's right.
if they join you as a promoter, you're going to be besties. So then they'll want to know all the details.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
basically to start with one or two things that made a difference for you, how you got started. We're just talking about how we got started. And as far as not, you know, if you didn't like the shake, hey, I love the aloe now. I promote it left, right, and center. I couldn't get past the taste at the beginning. But then I learned the value of the products. I learned about the benefits that these products would give to me, how they would help my body to heal and fill in the gaps. And that's what was important to me. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's what does your audience want? They're there because they said they want information about better health or energy or immune system. So
Right.
that's what we want to look at.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, what I do is I don't say a lot at the beginning. I just listen to the person and kind of understand where they are going. Like, do they have this or that? You know, they could have multiple diagnoses that they wanted to take care of, or it depends. I kind of understand them first, and then I talk about Pro Vitality and the shake pack, actually the breakfast pack, a lot. And I stop, right? and then, say, I know this will really help you, but then let's um, move slowly. Let's get to the next level, another time. And I just let them buy this products first and then wait for like 2-3 months for them to say, oh, I love it, and whatnot. And then, sometimes go through the catalog and say, oh, these are the other products, and slowly, gradually get, going on it. Because if you try to tell everything, they cannot absorb, they are just starting to, understand about this product. So that's what I have been doing. Any input on that?
Joan, you're muted.
No, Sin, that's great. Let's continue getting some others telling their
Yeah,
stories.
sorry.
Sorry, because of time, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, I do have both a product story and a business story, which I've revamped. So which would you like me to share?
Whichever one you want. Just one for now.
Okay, I will do the product story. My name is Wen Bogues. I am retired from a 50-year career in nursing. I was first introduced to the Neolife products by over 34 years ago by my good friend Lynn Mittenoff. Her story about the solid science behind the products was compelling. I was unaware that I had any health concerns, and I just wanted to stay healthy. Later, thinking back, I did have a couple of health concerns. I had classic migraine headaches and a low thyroid condition requiring hormone replacement. But it was high cholesterol some 15 years later that called me into action. Have you ever been called into action about a health concern? Or do you think about that? Many members of my family struggled with heart disease and diabetes type 2, and I neither wanted to join them nor take medication as a treatment. I was aware there was a wealth of Neolife products and testimonials about heart health. I asked my sponsor and I added the heart health regimen. Over the next 6 months, I watched my cholesterol levels improve and become normal. To this day, some 30 years later, my annual blood work continues to be outstanding. Paying attention to one concern, my cholesterol, led me to other unexpected bonuses in my health. My migraines disappeared thanks to the anti-inflammatory effects of the heart health program. And my thyroid hormone therapy has lowered over the years as well. Can you imagine a future of better health in 5, 10, maybe 30 years like me? The end.
Yeah, I like that.
You couldn't tell.
Yeah.
The question in the middle, I'm not really sure about that. But I just thought, if you're actually talking to someone and they let you get that much stuff out in the beginning and then you stop and say, ask them a question. Like, do you have any health concerns that you have been taking for granted?
Yeah.
And there's no reason why you can't do that in what we used to say, the front of the room, if you're talking to a group. I mean, it's a common technique for a speaker to address the audience specifically, right? So makes them think. You want to provoke some thought and have them ask themselves questions that they might not have considered before. Most people think, oh, well, it's a one-way street. I have this or I have that, or my family's like this, so that's the way it's going to be. I thought that way with migraines. Never even occurred to me that there was something I could do about my migraines.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Till they went away and I realized something had been done.
That's right. And that's a totally different testimonial. My migraine testimonial is different. My healthy joints
It's a big one.
Is a different one. Yeah.
So do you think there are too many, I know it is what it is kind of thing, it is what it is. That's all the stuff we have. But can you be a little more like specific? Like, for instance, well, depending on the person you're talking to, or if on a health talk they ask you to talk about heart health, then you're gonna focus on that, right? Because there's a lot of great information, and you're very great at telling us. but I think it's too many. What do you think?
Too many what? Too many.
Too many ideas, too many.
You
So
could put them in just a very quick
Quick.
3-word list.
Okay.
You know, I realized I did have some issues like thyroid and cholesterol, or, you know, the cholesterol you want to leave to the end, but, you know,
and then focus on one.
you just wanted to stay healthy.
Mhm.
But then you realize you actually did have some issues like thyroid and migraines, you know. And then when you actually started dealing with your cholesterol, that's when you experienced a change. So you can just like try to,
Summarize.
you've got the key points. Now take out the extraneous stuff that you could put in a comma, right? Try to cut down the number of words and make, instead of 2 sentences, make 1 sentence. So that's how we make our stories clear, more powerful, and succinct. Just like packing for a trip, right? They say put everything out on the bed and then take out half and then put them in your suitcase.
Can't do that.
Yeah, we all have to work on. I mean, this is work in progress, really, for all of us,
Yes.
right? That you have ideas. How about who else wants to go? Patience, do you want to go? It's up to you. What time is it? 7:46.
I haven't done any changes since Saturday, so I'm not ready to do anything now.
Okay. All right. Does Julie want to go? I'm not sure if
It's still a work in progress.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's 7:46, so maybe we should call it a. Right now,
I'm so proud of you guys. I have to say, Heather, you are awesome. Like the way you led the meeting today, I learned so much, and I was rewriting my story too. I mean, I think when you've been doing it for so long, it just naturally occurs, right? But what I love the way you guys dissected it, and I think shortening it and making it powerful, emotional. And I think Mansuda did a great job. She even, I think, learned from you guys and rewrote it again. And I'm just going to give you a quick, I did this very quickly while I was listening to you guys, and let me know what you think. But then I would love to talk a little bit about the business close, because Joan kind of had that idea about how we're going to introduce the business to people and not incorporating a big business close at the health talk. So we'll, if you don't mind, I'd love some feedback at the end, but just very quickly, I'm just saying, you know what, 30 years ago, I was 25, tired, I had joint pain, PMS, and really bad allergies. Was I concerned? Well, not until I saw my mom, who was in her 40s, allergies, allergy injections, severe joint pain, and very tired all the time. That's when I kind of opened my eyes. But she was taking supplements. So when my friend, a neighbor and dear friend, tried introducing me to Neolife, I said no. I did not believe in supplements, for my mom got no results. But something was different. Flo looked different, and I noticed that there was a change in her, and that's when I got curious. And I decided to take a look and try the products. I'm so grateful today, 30 years later, that I did. The products have impacted my life and my family, and I was so excited to share this with my family and my friends.
awesome.
I love it.
I think
Yes,
that would
yes.
be a little, right?
Yeah.
For the product piece, right? Because I understood what you did, Heather. Like you gotta get a bit of the emotion in there, and having that skepticism. Like I wasn't a believer of supplements. They didn't work for my mom, and I took a risk. I decided to give them a try, right? So I think the more emotion and passion we get into that, because there's a lot of people out there that are skeptical, right? They're not sure if the products are going to work. So anyways, I'm so glad that you guys all did honestly amazing. And I think Saturday's session really, really helped. Thank you so much, Joan, for, bringing that on for us. And I'm thinking that if we all give a powerful product testimonial, and then when we do close the product health talks for the business, to just say, you know what, we shared so much amazing information on the products of the health, whatever it is. And then somehow we can say, for those of you that are curious about our business opportunity, after we host our questions and answers at the end, if you'd like to learn more about the business, you can stick around. We'll say goodbye to some of you. And those of you that are interested in learning more about the income and how to generate a business with this amazing company, we welcome you to stay behind. What do you guys think?
And tell them a time, like you said, 10 minutes, so they won't think it's.
Yeah. So we're just going to spend 10 minutes and explain the business. And if you have more questions, then we can definitely, set up a one-on-one with you individually or whatever. But yeah, 10 minutes I think would be a great. And then that's when most of us can stay on and we'll see who's there. And then you guys can share, maybe pick 2 or 3 of you to share your business journey.
I have a suggestion. Do you think you could say it at the beginning that at the end we'll tell you about this, and then at the end we'll have some 10 minutes for those who want to do the business?
That have questions about the business. Sure.
Yeah.
So let them know at the beginning and then also at the end when we close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think, what do you guys think? Are you guys feel good about that, Heather? And
Yeah, I'm on with that because it helps us to keep our testimonials within the health talk
right,
short and succinct, right?
Mhm.
And still keeps it open for that. And if you think about it, it's the same as what we have at the rally. Most
Right.
of the rally is about the products because that is the foundation for the business.
Mhm.
And then Josh says, if you want to learn more about the business opportunity, stick around after lunch. We're going to have another session on that. This won't be a full session. We're just saying 10 minutes. We're going to give you a glimpse into what this business could mean for you, what it means for us,
Excellent.
what it's meant for us, or what it's done for us and what it could do for you if you're interested.
For sure. I think it's fantastic. Honestly, I think this will be really, really good. And this way we won't feel kind of, when you're inviting somebody, right, wondering, when we start talking about the business, how it's going to affect them, right? And
Right.
even our Thursday, I think even our Thursday nights, because we end up getting more guests, I think, on the Thursday night piece too, right? Because they're going to hear so many product testimonials on whatever specific health talk that is, right? Oh, and Heather, are you going to be able to share your skin?
Oh,
Yes,
yes, I can. I'm sorry, I didn't get back to you on that.
Okay,
I will.
okay, okay,
Thursday.
perfect. Awesome. I pulled him. You'll be happy, Heather. You'll be proud of me. I pulled up the New Life blog that it had the information on the carotenoids and CoQ10.
That's
So
right. When I saw that, I thought that was really timely.
Yeah, I added that to that. So I'll get you to speak on that piece, like on the carotenoids. So thank you. Awesome.
What do you, sorry. What do you think about a workshop where Heather's great, that will help people with their stories?
Yeah.
Heather has great sentences. She's so
I
good.
know. I learn from Heather all the time. It's that teacher.
I'm a born teacher.
It's that teacher librarian.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Longer time, so you can help.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely do more.
Okay. And I'm actually not going to stick around tonight because I have to make some phone calls tonight.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll say goodnight. And I know Cindy will stop the recording for you guys, but I want to say thank you. You guys did an awesome job. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I was listening, but I had other things that I had to do tonight. So thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys.
Good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.